James, you've sort of said in the past that the club's got a bit carried away with their wins in the past. Any sign of that this week, or anything you've had to do to sort of stand on that, I guess?
I hope not. We've just basically trained hard this week and prepared for Richmond, who, caused us a lot of troubles last time and beat us quite convincingly. So, it's a very important game for both teams. But we're pretty keen to play Richmond again and show that give a much better account of ourselves than we did last time.
Got a theory on why your record at the MCG has been so poor in the last 12 to 18 months?
Well, I suppose the last, sort of 6 of those games I think have been with us as coach. So before that, or 5 games without. Before that, really not sure. But we've certainly played a bigger team. Probably the team this week has got a lot more running power than we've had in the past. And you need a really good spread of inside players and guys who can run and create at the MCG. And that's why it's such a great ground, because it's got something for everyone. Whereas Etihad's probably a little bit more of an in-close game.
Is the sort of defensive game more difficult to master at the MCG compared to Etihad?
Yeah, MCG is a harder ground to defend. I think it's probably the hardest ground to defend in the AFL because of its width rather than Subiaco's long and big, but the MCG's width makes it very hard to cover all spaces. But saying that, Collingwood seemed to do a pretty good job of defending it most weeks.
You're confident last week sort of wasn't an aberration, and maybe the guys have got a bit of a second win. You mentioned last week they've been able to train better and they looked a little bit fresher. Is that sort of the same signs you're getting again this week?
Yeah, we definitely trained well this week, trained well the week before, and the consistency of training I've always felt is a massive part of an individual's game and also a team's game as to how they play. So we're confident that we've prepared well, but you never know till you go out on Saturday night and perform. But we think that we're ready to play, and as I said, we look forward to playing Richmond.
Take much part of their defeat last week?
Well, we were the same the week before, really. We didn't lose by 100 points, but effectively we could have. It was a very poor performance by us against Hawthorn, and so I think that Richmond has had a very good year, and they've probably they had a poor performance on the weekend, but doesn't mean you give your season away. So. Having come off a bit of a flogging the week before when we played Geelong, we think we know what to expect from Richmond, and we expect them to come out absolutely breathing fire, and we will enjoy that because that's the sort of game we like to play.
What did you learn from them earlier in the year? Is there a key focus for this game?
Definitely their run-off half-back is really good. Their attack and their creating play, the creating of play and the creating of attack is excellent, and they made our defence look pretty poor. In terms of our defence across the whole ground, not just our back line, but our defence. So it's an area that we want to improve on.
They've only named one big man, I think, Tyrone Vickery's their sole ruckman. Do you think that's something you can get on top?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with their big men, and I think we've got one sitting as an emergency ready to come in. So we'll see what happens. But if they play with one, they play with one, and I don't think it's not meant to be that dry on Saturday night. So that might be the reason they picked only one big man.
What's going around that they've gone to the AFL this week with concerns over the treatment for Jack Reebok? Does that always worry you as an opposition coach in the week that you've got to play that team, that maybe there's an extra focus on that matchup?
Certainly hope not. Certainly you'd hope that it's not reactive in that way. I think if Damien thinks that his forwards aren't getting looked after, he's got every right to go to the AFL and ask questions why not. And that's you should look after your players like that. But I'm sure the umpires will pay the free kicks that are there, and they won't pay the ones that aren't there.
Just on, Jackie's had a pretty good record against the Bombers and has played well on Tape Pairs a couple of times as well. Does Tape get another chance, or do you use Michael Hurley?
Not sure yet. We'll finalise that obviously later on today. But either Tate or Hurls will get the job on him. We're probably looking to play Hurls up forward this week, so we'll start with Tate, I'd say, but we'll think a little bit more about that today.
As things stand now, what would you say your chances are of playing finals? Will they be slim, average, good?
It's not. Yeah, who knows? As I think I said all along, it's not something we've been thinking about. We're thinking about improving, and through the 5 losses we had and through the win on the weekend, we've coached no differently, and that's about improving our team and teaching the guys how we want them to play. And you saw the way the guys played on the weekend. It was a real positive for our supporters, and it was kept saying an affirmation of what we're doing. But it's not going to be an end all of what we're doing, and we need to keep teaching these guys and learning. And if finals come along, they do. But yeah, I think we're 6.5 wins and 9 games to go, so anything can happen.
As silly as it may sound, you actually learn a bit more about your group the way that they come off that Geelong game and perform this week? You know, even on the ground that you haven't played well at as well.
Learn more than.
Well, just the way that they handle a big win and then back it up the next week.
Yeah, I think you learn something about them. We've learned a lot about them in the last 9 months that we've been here, and we've some really good things and some things we've got to work on. And this is another challenge. You have a good win with a young side, and we had a really young side on the weekend. We've got a young side in this weekend, and how that young side wants to come up and work hard and perform and win the first contest and win the next one, and how they want to play the game. That's what we'll be interested to watch for on Saturday night. And you talk about winning and losing, but the game will be won on which players and which teams want to win those contests, and then do the right thing with the ball after that.
Article in the paper today is sort of suggesting that Dyson Hempel might be a chance to win your best and perhaps he's had for 25 years as a first-year player that's done that. Do you think he's capable of doing that with the year he's had?
Well, he's been very consistent. He's had good, consistent form, but there's 9 weeks to go in the season in terms of the home and away season, and but out of 22, that's still a lot of football to be played. So, as I said, anything can happen for Dyson, and he's had a very good season for a first-year player and a very good player. And he's only going to get better as he goes along, but I think, and he wouldn't even be thinking like that, and I don't think we are, because you look at Sam Lonergan 2 weeks ago, he was playing some really good football and really consistent player for us, and now doesn't play the rest of the year with a knee injury. So we'll just let that one ride, and hopefully he keeps playing good football.
Will he need a rest before the end of the year, or is he a guy that's capable of playing the whole season?
Oh, we'd like to give him a rest somewhere along the line, but every game seems to be more important than the last one. So we'll find some time. We'll find a game somewhere along the lines to give him a rest, and if he needs it. If he doesn't need it, then we won't. But I'd say at his age and the amount of footy he's played this year, he's going to need a break sooner or later.
Just Ricky Dyson, does he come in to fill the role that Welsh played last week, or does he play sort of more half-back?
No, he'll play more half-back midfield. Yeah, I think Welshie and Ricky are different players. We'll probably use Kyle Remus up the forward line a bit more. But Ricky's deserved his spot. He's trained his backside off, tried to get better, played really well in the reserves, and we've been very tough on him in terms of making him earn this game. And he really deserves his game. Hasn't complained, hasn't bitched, hasn't whinged, and so I hope he has a really good night tomorrow night for his own benefit.
Playing for his future in this sort of next couple of months, do you think?
Not playing for his future. I just think he's playing to improve like everyone else, and we've seen a really big improvement in Ricky's game from the start of the year to now, and he's doing exactly what we want him to do in the reserves, and that's why he's earned his game. So I think it's this part of the year everyone looks to the end really quickly, but there's so much football to be played that I don't think anyone's playing for their future. But we hope for his sake and for our sake that he has a really good game on the weekend.
You had a good record against your former teammates in the coach's box.
No, I've been reminded of that a lot this week. So hopefully it's a win for us. But we'll Damien's been coaching very well as well, and come off a week that a game that you don't want. So he'll be desperate for a win as well.